Show them the driveway. Hey, what is this one? Mom lost that and I shoveled the driveway inside.
Whoa.
Mom lost the That's what's name.
So I shoveled the driveway. Or I shoveled the driveway because it's
Mom locked
okay. Tyler forgot his mask. Tyler has to report because he ate sand.
It said Tyler. It said Mom locked the door. Therefore we couldn't get into the car.
So you guys can
So this one here. Okay, now Evan just gave me. Can you guys give it an iPad one?
You guys did my outro.
Wait, that's five.
Yep, that one looks good. Okay. They might have done an extra one. Yep. She got an A plus on her too. The driveway, because it's snow outside. So that one just switch it up because Tyler had a stomach, or because he ate sand, he had a stomach ache. So which is the cause of that? Right. Well, the effect was. Yeah. Tim forgot his math book, so he was unable to complete the homework, therefore we couldn't get into the car. Mom locked the door, therefore we couldn't get into the car. Because she locked the door, you guys couldn't get in.
That's correct.
Yep.
Leave it.
Yep, leave it. Tim forgot his math book, so he was unable to complete the homework. Because Kelly studied her spelling words, she got an A plus on her test. Tyler had a stomach ache because he ate sand. Mom locked the car door, therefore we couldn't get into the car, and it snowed outside, so I shoveled snow. Good job, guys. Okay, so everyone got those right. So that's just to kind of remind you about cause and effect. And it's pretty simple. Like I said, it can interchange, so some of your guys' work either way, whether it was cause or effect. What we're going to do now is we're going to read an article. I'm going to pass them out. 4, 5. And then we're going to find cause and effect within the article, okay? There's 4 here. You guys can just keep those on the desk for now. Okay, so this article is about John Quincy Adams. Mika.
Angel didn't get one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I counted 4. Does anyone know who John Quincy Adams is?
Was he a president?
He was a president. He was the 6th president. 6th. It was from 1825 to 1829. So this just talks about his life in the beginning of his life, like around your guys' age. Just read along with me, okay? Did you have a question?
It says that he became
America's 2nd president. Oh, okay. Well, Google says 6. I'm so sorry. Okay, so John Quincy Adams was no ordinary boy. Born in 1767, he was present during the birth of our nation. As the son of John Adams, who would become America's 2nd president, he watched patriot representatives debate pressing matters. At the age of 8, his innocence was shattered when he witnessed the Battle of Bunker Hill. Seeing great promise in their eldest son, John and Abigail Adams would embark on a plan to nurture his intelligence and character, exposing him to every possible viewpoint on liberty, equality, and the fight for freedom. They would also groom him to adopt selfless conduct of a public servant. So in 1778, when John Adams was appointed top diplomat to France, he brought his son along. On the ocean voyage, rough seas often sent John Quincy to his cramped quarters. Clear days were spent on deck, bracing his body against the wind, his face turned to the cold sea spray. This journey is documented in journals written by both father and son, but what was life like for John Quincy Adams as an American boy living in France? Historians have, of course, surveyed these years, and so can we by reading actual letters sent between mother and son. Written from Paris on April 28, 1778, one letter shows John Quincy Adams distracted by the court concerns of a typical boy. I am now at a good school, which I like very well, he wrote. After giving Abigail a detailed account of his daily schedule, he moved on to politics. I suppose before this reaches you, you will hear of the treaty concluded between France and America, which I believe will rouse the hearts of the Americans. Abigail replied in June of that same year, noting that she missed him dearly. It is a very difficult task, my dear son, for a tender parent to bring their mind to part with a child of your years into a distant land. Most of this letter, however, is devoted to advice. Great learning and superior abilities, should you ever possess them, will be of little value, she wrote, unless virtue, honor, truth, and integrity are added to them. By February of the next year, 11-year-old John Quincy wrote that he is homesick. Luckily, his father was called home in August of 1779. Just 3 months later, John Adams was sent back to Europe. Once again, John Quincy, this time with his brother Charles, was accompanied his father, although not without protest. In January of 1780, Abigail praised her son for agreeing to return. If I had thought your reluctance arose from proper deliberation, I should not have urged you to have accompanied your father and brother when you appeared so averse to the voyage. Her closing words show Abigail Adams to be as bold and intelligent as history has portrayed her. These are times in which a genius would wish to live, she wrote. It is not in the still calm of life that great characters are formed. And I think John Adams, correct me maybe, if was the president that had a son that was also a president. Was that correct? So I think when I read about the 6th president, that's actually his son. So I am sorry, you guys are right. So this just talks about John Quincy Adams, the 2nd president, and how his life was when he was about your guys' age, and how different it is. There are vocab words we're going to go ahead and do in this, and then there are cause and effects on here. What I did for cause and effects, there are a few different causes and effects in this article. I wrote 4 causes and then 4 effects, and then I'm going to give you guys a sheet of paper, and I want you guys to match them. Right now they're scattered. And I know that they're hard to read probably because I wrote smaller, and I'll read them to you. And then I want you to go back in the article and search for the causes and the effects, okay? So I'm going to hand you this worksheet, and I'll work with you on it for sure. So you guys might want to get out a pencil if you don't have one already. Once I get your worksheets passed out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you all of the causes first, and I want you guys to write those down on your paper. Okay, and let me know if someone doesn't have one. I think I counted correctly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read these different causes to you, and you're going to put one cause I write right here in the first box, the second cause in the second box, and so on, okay? Now, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to give these to you in order, and then we're going to pair the effects with them. So the first cause, you're going to write, what effect did John Quincy Adams' trip to France have on his mother? And you're just going to write that in your cause box, right there. And if someone can't see because you're further back, I know my handwriting is smaller, just let me know. Can you write that right there? You don't have a pencil? Can you sharpen pencil? What? I wrote it, so it doesn't say that exactly in the article, but what you're going to write down is what effect did John Quincy Adams' trip to France have on his mother? Just like it's written on there. Did John Quincy Adams' trip to France have on his mother? And you guys might have to write a little small on these. When you guys are done writing that, can you put your finger on your nose? That's fine, yeah. If you know it. Keep your finger on your nose. Okay, is most everyone done? Okay, the second one, we're going to write in the second clause box. We're going to say, what effect did John Quincy Adams, and you could probably just write like JQA. You don't have to write out the whole name if you know who it is. Expect the agreement between France and America to have. What? The R? Agreement? And what are you asking? E. Oh, I get that. Okay. M-E. M-E. N-T. Then, right, between America and France to have. Are you guys ready for the third one?
Yeah.
No. Yes, you are. Yeah, oh, okay. I was like, she's gotten more. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready, okay? differently. It's not set up like a question, but that's okay. It's kind of like the cause and effects we've been doing. His father was called home in August of 1779, and that's going to go in the third box. You'll just put it in the third cause box. His father was called home in August of 1779. They're swapped up, so you're gonna have to see which effect goes to which cause. But remember, they're mismatched, so you're gonna have to think about it. Are we done writing the third cause?
Yeah.
No? Okay, and whenever you're ready for the fourth one, it's okay if you're not yet. The fourth cause, so the fourth one in the first column is just going to say John and Abigail Adams saw great promise in their son. And then I know some of you are working ahead, it's fine. Whenever you're done with that, and I can come around and make sure you are okay, what you're going to do is you're just going to match the right effect to the right cause. So the effects, all of these are scrambled up, but they're the answers to these. And you have to find the right answer in these to each one, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, I'll come around and help you guys. They expose every possible. Oh wait, here, okay. Please switch it to the side Americans and possibly change the direction of the war. And these answers are in your text too. So if you want to look back at them, the first two are a little harder to find. You're going to have to just draw conclusions. But the second two are more like mismatched, like what we've been doing. And you can raise your hand if you have a question.